Arlyn is on the brink of upheaval. For centuries, the clan struggled against giants until 400 years ago, new dragons crossed the Great Sea, forcing them to unite and build the 10 Bastions. As the threat faded, the clans fractured into the 10 Kingdoms, and all but the last Bastion were abandoned. As ancient calamities stir and darkness rises in the east, my 4 champions must rise up to unite the kingdoms, restore the Bastions, uncover their secrets, and stand against this darkness as a declaration of war.
Calagon Dör. I will discover the secrets of my lineage and cement my legacy as one of the greatest adventurers of all time.
Cleave still in here. The migration of the dragons forced the migration of peoples and beasts, which brings death. We're all invasive species now. I won't let us become extinct ones.
The name's Rodrick Elwood, the voice of this generation, and the greatest performer in Aurora. Oh, and you should see me with a bow.
And I, Arlyn Dursalai, searching for my father's sword Trident, to bring justice to these lands. Together, we are the 4 Horsemen.
And this is Divine Inspiration.
Hello and welcome.
Sorry.
If you're not yet familiar with me, my name is Tristan and I am the DM here of the 4 Horsemen campaign. It is so good to have you guys back with us. Before we get started officially, I do want to give one side note as we have had a few different combat encounters thus far. Now, previously we had mentioned that this is definitely going to be primarily a family-friendly stream. That means no strong language, no innuendo, things of that sort. That being said, it is also a combat-based game, so there will be some form of imagery in terms of, graphic dialogue only in regards to blood and things of that sort. Now, with that being said, why don't you guys go ahead and gather around, get comfy, and enjoy as we tell stories of legend by Divine Inspiration. Now, last session, after having gotten blessed with powers from a dragon and made your way through ancient ruins, carried out massive chains that should have been far too heavy to even carry, yet still somehow you were able to gracefully glide your way through the sky with, and even finding a new ally in the form of a little purple dragon named Barry, you guys were able to track back across the land, where falling from the sky over towering mountains and across the misty expanse, you'd seen the heights of different ranges off in the distance along with the plains before them. However, the route that you all chose to take was following a young orc boy through the sands of the desert in search of his family. And as you trekked forward with your new ally, Rumgar, or ally to some, I should say, you find yourselves immediately taken aback, as having just come from a high altitude, it was much, much cooler, and suddenly you feel the sweat start to bead and drip down your backs. As you can see now why this small orc boy is dressed the way he is, singularly garbed in a elongated tunic of sorts, almost, again, styled like a dress, where you can see that it's able to take in a lot of air, and despite the fact that some of it is still torn up from his previous wound where you had healed him, it's otherwise well equipping him for this heat. Whereas some of you, notably those of you wrapped in massive chains such as Cleave and or armor such as Arlyn, are really, really starting to feel the sun as it beats down on you.
We made a mistake. This sucks. The forest was amazing. I know everything of the forest. I could have led us to wherever we wanted to go. Yet you chose sand.
No,
I didn't choose this.
Goodness.
Goodness in the form of this? I pick up sand and I just drop it on your head.
Stop that.
Oh, it's gonna get all in his armor and stuff. That's gonna be.
It
annoying.
already is.
Oh,
It's gonna be hard
It's
to
in a
get
lot
out.
of places
man.
that I'd like not to mention.
Man. I told you so. But let's keep following this guy.
I still think we're doing the right thing, gentlemen.
I mean, it could. Every time I look at him, I'm reminded of how hard it is. And I do question whether or not it's the right decision, but I could be convinced otherwise depending on how this goes. I feel like this is going to be a big character-defining moment for me at the end of this quest.
Well,
It's always about you, Rodrick. Hey, Rumgar, how far do we have?
Rumgar does not know.
Great.
How did you get here?
Um,
To the cave?
to the cave.
Did you walk there?
No, I
He kind of looks around for a moment.
don't know.
Were you born in the cave?
No, born in the.
And he kind of like thinks real hard for a second. And he just points again off in the direction that you guys are traveling.
Very good, very good.
well at least we're
You're
on
born
our
that way.
way
Okay.
to the right location,
In
right?
a village, you have you have parents?
Parents?
You have mum?
Mama
Papa?
and Papa.
Yeah, you have
um,
mama and papa.
My family. Family?
Yes, you have a family.
My family.
And he kind of like looks just kind of like a little thrown off for a moment as you ask this question. Now for the second time, kind of slowly pushing, and he just thinks on it and he says,
Dad, Mama, and Dad, and Papa. Mama and Papa. Gone.
Gone. What do you mean gone?
I think you know what he means, Arlyn.
If they're gone, where are we taking him?
He doesn't even know how far it is. How do we know he's remembering correctly where he lives?
I mean,
you
he's
did see a village, did you not, with Barry?
Doesn't mean it's his.
and he starts picking up pace as he hears you guys talking and kind of looking down at his feet. And he looks back and kind of making eye contact with you for a second. He says,
The weak get left behind.
What, bud?
The weak get left behind.
The-
Come.
Did you get left behind?
he does not answer you.
The week you left.
I'm starting to get an idea why he likes saying Rumgar strong, Rumgar strong. Might be because some others didn't think so.
Well, we did find him tied up in a web. So, Rumgar not that strong. But nonetheless, we're hopefully halfway there as it is.
Calagon, you can actually see through the eyes of Barry.
It's hard to explain. I guess in a sense, yeah.
Would you feel comfortable with him getting close enough to know whether or not that village is an orc village?
Well, maybe if you ask him nicely, he might help.
I would love to ask him. No, you know what, Barry. Now you might have to translate because you've been better at this than I have.
Uh-huh.
But would you?
He's just
be
staring
okay?
at me as you talk to him.
No, just. Would you end up like feeding them little scraps of food, like rations I have? Would you be all right going a little closer? The people like him, but just don't get too close. But would you go and look for us?
He completely ignores you, I guess. Barry, can you do me one more favor? Just take a peek at the village, possibly, if you can, and just let me know what you see. And then we'll throw him up.
As he takes to the sky and vanishes for a time.
Look at him go.
Slowly,
He's so
Rumgar
cute.
kind of slows his pace to match you. And he looks over again at Calagon.
Orcs don't need no help. I don't need no help. I strong. I fine.
I know. You're strong, Rumgar. We're just following you for no reason.
But orcs have family, yeah? And orcs' family protect. Yes? That's what we do. We
That's right.
here are like a new family.
Something like that.
You say Rumgar is group.
What?
Rumgar is family?
I meant us four, but
maybe take
Four is a crowd.
Yikes!
and
Team meeting.
And Barry, if you
huddle up.
meet a family, well, hopefully we're gonna find you the family that you already have. We're gonna make sure that they're okay, and we're gonna protect. Yeah.
You are orc. You protect.
Yes.
Good.
I protect my family, and we will protect yours.
You guys continue this on for another 10-15 minutes of conversation where Rumgar continues to try to push himself into the family further and continues questioning you lot while, for the most part, I would assume kind of getting pushed to the side a little bit, as he previously just was, before Barry makes his way back. And almost like visions in your mind, you feel this deep sadness and just the silhouetted figures start to appear. And you can see a broken down, like, town of some sort on a hardened slab of rock, built up and beautiful. It's brightly colored and largely ornate. However, all around were bodies. Specifically, orc bodies.
So I see Barry flying in, and I could tell just from his dragon body language that something's not right. Guys, I don't know if it's a good idea if we keep going.
What'd you see?
There's a village, all right, but just no one alive.
No one alive.
Just
As in it was empty or
bodies everywhere.
bodies?
Bodies.
Team meeting.
What kind of? Can I tell what kind of bodies they are?
You could tell that they were orc in nature. However,
Okay.
having been instructed to stay somewhat away, Barry did not investigate any closer.
Okay.
Rumgar, can you stand watch and protect us? We're just gonna be about 10 meters out that way.
Make a persuasion check.
13.
13. He kind of looks to you and dropping Cleave's club at his side for a moment. He looks around and you see with like both hands starts to as he hoists it up onto his shoulder and he just kind of gives another nod.
Rumgar will do what you ask.
Thank you, Rumgar.
Thank you.
I can always count
Thank
on you.
What does thank you mean?
In your language, it would mean Ukta Duka.
Please don't, Rodrick.
Was that right, Cleave?
Was that Orcish?
Do you speak Orcish? Do you have it? Do you know any Orcish?
No.
He looks around.
What you
What
said?
is my language? This my language. Rumgar speak this language.
Rumgar, thank
What
you.
is that? What does what? Huh?
Sounds
It's.
French.
I'm sorry. It was. I was mistaken. I said this was your language. This is actually my language.
Oh.
My
Oh.
native tongue.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And he just kind of
It's spoken by a population of
shakes
one.
his head off and just kind of starts to turn around as he clearly is just very confused at this point, but doing his best to stand guard now for you lot.
Thank you. Men, as we were.
Yeah. So as I was saying,
We huddle up.
a lot of orc bodies in that village, not moving.
Not moving.
Yeah. From
Perhaps he ran away in terror, ended up in the cave. The spider wouldn't have gone all the way out there. The spiders prefer the caves, they prefer the shadows.
well, my question is, should we send Rumgar back to his possible dead
Well,
family?
obviously, we can't leave him there, right?
I
Not
don't think we
leave
should
him
bring him
there.
there, but I do think further investigation might be worth. What if somebody that knows him is hiding amongst the rubble or something? Somebody who could take him in.
Well,
Barry did not see one living body amongst the rubble.
Not one.
Was there
I was gonna sneeze. Sorry, but
was there anywhere we could go near the town where we could like
It is very
camp,
dusty.
I hate that.
where we could like camp out and leave him so that we wouldn't have to traverse an entire desert while splitting us?
I mean, that's I don't know if he'll not go where he wants to go. This is where he's kind of leading us. He wants to probably see his family, and unfortunately, I don't know if they're going to be there. But we do have to investigate. We got to find out who did this and why. What do you think, Arlyn?
It is quite difficult to make a decision without as much information.
Perhaps that's not even his village.
I have an idea.
What do you have, Calagon?
I say we get close. Not close enough to where you can see the village, but close enough to where we could split up. I'll take Rumgar with either Rodrick or Cleave, and we can take him hunting, maybe to help us find food. And in the meantime, you guys can go investigate a little bit further and come back to camp before we head
I think
inside.
that's a splendid idea.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
how far would I be able to tell how far from, like, where Barry flew? How far where it is?
It's pretty darn far. He was mostly taking a view overhead and also is able to bypass the desert sands. So for you guys, it would take a lot longer, and he didn't quite reach all the way to. It would take a few hours for sure.
Okay. So we got to get close enough, but not too close. I'll keep Barry nearby, and I'll throw him out every now and then just to scope and see the distance till we get there.
Just see if you could find anywhere shady that we could rest the kid. There, near it. Somewhere that we can get him at rest that's not within sight of the doubtless massacre we're all about to be
Okay. Is that the plan?
exposed to.
Sure. It's the only plan.
The only plan we have.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's just play cool with Rumgar until we get close enough to investigate.
Perfect.
I'll send Barry off in 20 minutes or so and see what he comes back with.
All right.
All right.
Continue on.
I'm gonna just start casually asking Rumgar as though it's just like any time in his life, not necessarily asking about anything really recent. Just, hey Rumgar, have you ever as we're just walking, has your people, your family ever had to fight off any bad guys, do any protecting, any?
Rumgar,
Any monsters or anything? Yeah, they've had to do it. How'd they do? Your mama and papa are very strong?
I get close to Cleave. I say, "You're doing great, buddy."
Rumgar is still growing.
Yeah.
Rumgar only fights some.
Oh, yeah. You did a little bit, but they fought, right? They did good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they won.
Uh-huh.
Dang it.
Okay.
What did they fight?
Yeah.
Spiders.
Spiders.
Ah, they fought spiders. Very good.
Uh-huh.
Out here in the desert?
So my theory was wrong.
Oh. Desert spiders. It's terrifying.
Was the spider that was in the cave, was that a
That's
desert
probably
spider?
I like spiders, I guess. I don't know. He's weird.
Oh, all right. This isn't looking good for our buddy old pal.
All right.
Do you guys think team huddle?
I literally side-eye Rumgar.
Team
He
huddle.
definitely is gonna come over immediately.
Rumgar, protect.
He's still standing there, just staring at you.
Protect out there. You're strong. You must protect us. Grab your torch
Rumgar, you get
and
that
be
side.
on watch.
I'll watch this side of the camp while they have a meeting. All right, split up.
Perfect.
Okay.
I will walk off like a good 5. I will try not to go quite as far as he does, so I can maybe still hear.
Yeah.
But I'll just be facing the opposite direction the whole
He's
time.
just
you guys are having a
watching
meeting.
you and kind of pacing backwards and trying to determine how far he's supposed to go.
I walk far. As soon as if I look over my shoulder and see him doing that, I'll keep walking. I'll
So
walk
we
like
come-
20 feet away at least.
We huddle, the three of us, but leave this side open, so that Cleave can hear a
So
little
that
bit.
kinda-
And then I'm gonna
And we're
try to
like-
hopefully sneakily just take some slow
Get a
steps
little
back.
closer. So I say, do you guys think maybe Rumgar didn't wander into the cave? Maybe he was dragged there by the spiders.
Yes, I think that could be, but I'm here to provide another theory.
Okay.
Actually, I want to be completely out of this. Sorry, I'm just gonna go the full 20 feet, however far I want him to be, and to
Cool.
let you guys handle it.
Let's see what Cleave can get out of him. But there's also the possibility that he's from a Marauders camp and they fight other orcs. Maybe that village is a village they,
It's
Did the
hopeful
thing-
proposition, yes, but I think mine seems more realistic.
Let's just for a second say Arlyn is right. Where do spiders live if they are in the desert?
They go back to their cave.
So they just come
Went out
out
to
and
feed.
hunt. I'm assuming at night.
I've seen spiders
What time is it?
dig deep underground.
Yeah, me too.
It's still pretty early in the day, generally.
Early in the day, okay.
It's still like
Burrowing
closer to noon now.
spiders.
If there are
I
spiders,
shiver
They-
at the thought of spiders being under us.
yeah. If
I kick the ground.
if there are
Summons
spiders
the spider.
Yeah.
and they do come from the caves, which we've seen, then they must come out at night. So we better get there before nightfall. At least find some safe cover.
Are you guys feeling strong enough for a light jog?
Can
A light
Rumgar
jog.
jog? You got to take that torch
Why
from
a
him.
light jog?
Because I think we need to get to our destination a little bit faster than we anticipated.
I'm gonna look over. Is Rumgar looking?
Rumgar is staring dead at the floor.
I'm gonna send off Barry to do what we spoke about doing.
Another sweep,
Checking for an area for shelter.
a UAV.
Yeah, yeah. I'll do that.
Okay. Make a
Summon
perception
UAV.
check using Obi. Hilarious. Barry.
Okay. let me
If our
see.
buddy Hillary's watching,
Let's see his stats.
shout out to her version of this.
Yeah, I still don't have his. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. Nat 20 plus 3.
Ooh, now 20s you guys get
Let's
My
go.
goodness.
Do it.
Ridiculous.
Let's go, Barry.
Yeah, there are 3 points that you can make out immediately. There is a flat ground. There is one portion that. No, you can make it out pretty clearly. There is just a telescope sitting atop a large rock.
Whoa.
And then there is another portion that seems to be kind of a little bit more shaded, where it's kind of almost like a tunnel system in between where you guys are and where the town is.
Okay, so there's the village. There's a rock with a telescope on it in front of the village.
Yeah, so if you guys are down here, village is up here.
Oh, okay.
In between, there are 3 different potential shelters from just direct sand, if you will.
Okay,
So
and then
there's
a
this
tunnel
little-
that looks
So
like it
one of them
leads-
is more like it's like a rocky kind of valley that almost creates like a tunnel in between the sands a little bit.
Okay. Okay, so I guess time passes and he flies back.
Yep.
Do I get these visions as he does it, or when he comes?
When he comes back.
Okay.
When he
So
comes
as he
within
comes
range.
near, I'm gonna reach my arm out and grab him. And as soon as he gets to me, I start to see these sights of a village and a rock with a telescope and multiple spots to hide from the sand. And like you said, one that looks like some sort of tunnel. And I'm assuming you guys notice Barry coming back. So as soon as he does, I'm gonna look over at you, Arlyn. Team meeting.
We huddle close.
Team meeting.
We're back on it. You ready? All right, you get your side.
You watch as he drags your club through the sand, slowly just kind of waddling outward.
Does anybody have a... Nah, never mind.
I got cool.
Fellas, we might be being watched if there is anybody alive there. I saw through Barry that there's the village, and then there seems to be this rock with a large telescope on it. There are some places that we can take shelter and hide from the sand before we reach that area. So if it's okay, I'll lead, and I'll start making our way towards one that looks somewhat like a tunnel. Or would you
tunnels?
would you prefer to go to just a regular shelter and avoid that area?
I prefer to avoid the tunnels, yes.
Okay, I just thought it might make easy way into the village, but fine. So I'll lead the way, and when we get to that area, let's try to distract Rumgar for a bit, and then you guys can sneak in. Is it going to be you
Sounds
two?
Good. I'll do it.
Are you going with him, and me and Cleave will stay behind?
I can do it.
Okay. All right.
I think if we encounter anybody that is not so friendly, I could probably convince them otherwise.
I totally believe you.
I'm a likable guy, and I've been practicing Orcish.
Would it not be smarter to go with Cleave, as he is part orc himself?
I do agree, actually, with that. I think Cleave is probably the better option.
That does probably make more sense.
I need your help with Rumgar.
You need my help with Rumgar.
He doesn't like me very much.
I know, and what am I supposed to do to stop him? He's an orc. I'm
You're
an
the
elf.
most likable person around, so...
Yes, but he's a harmless orc. Isn't there some sort of
Is he
feud
harmless?
between
He said
orcs
he's
and
strong.
elves?
Listen, he's been saying he's strong so much, I'm starting to believe it. And I'm not trying to test that theory.
Oh no.
All right. Follow me, guys.
Hey, out of character, really fast. I just want to say, I just realized, reading my sheet, that there's a level up thing that I forgot. There's a great club. That's heavy. This is 2 pounds. I have a 2-pound club.
Nice.
He could probably do pretty good.
Okay.
Nice.
So I will. I was gonna try to trade it off. Like I was gonna ask if anybody had a dagger, and I was like, I shouldn't give him a knife.
Yeah,
But-
no. Don't give him a
But I
knife.
think I'll leave him with that.
Quick question.
For
Do
him
we
it's
see the glint in the distance of the telescope, like of the glass?
Currently, not at all. The dunes seem to cover most of your view, and as it starts to shift, you can see that a little bit of that kind of upkick from the winds seems to blur the vision over the horizon.
Okay.
Which of the 3 are you going to lead them to?
The left, far left.
So just the hard ground?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, simple enough.
Is there any water source? I guess it's a little late for me to ask, but... Nat 20, I don't know.
The nat 20, let me think. None before the point that you could see that the town would start at.
Okay. Okay.
So, it takes the better part of an hour, but eventually you guys find your way to this mound of sorts, this hardened slab of rock that only juts up a few feet from the sands, and it goes for a good few hundred feet, and is really just a mass open space where you guys are able to climb up with relative ease onto this platform, but there doesn't seem to be any real cover here.
Well, I think it's time to eat. Are you guys hungry?
Starved.
Yes, starving.
Cleave? Hungry?
No, how much do you people eat? We've eaten 7 meals today.
lot.
I'm gonna kick your leg. Aren't you hungry, Cleave?
Well, yeah, I guess it. Yeah, sometimes. What do we eat? Squid? Sometimes squid is like, you get hungry 30 minutes later.
Just goes right through you.
Just-
Um,
Now that I thought about it.
I think, Rumgar, are you hungry?
Rumgar.
Eat? Food?
And he starts to shake his head for a second, and then he thinks
No,
over
no.
at Cleave.
No, not
Hang on.
berries. Do you eat meat? Do you eat any
Big food.
mushrooms
Yeah,
or...
Strong
Yes.
food.
Dude, strong food? Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mm.
Well, we need to go look for some strong food before we go in the village. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So, Rumgar, you want to come with me and Rodrick? We'll go look this way. And then I'll point, not back where we came, but
Yeah,
more...
you protect
more
that side, and
more
I'll
west.
protect this
And-
this one.
Yeah, Arlyn and Cleave can
We're gonna
head that
go
way.
try and
Split.
hunt on the opposite end.
Yeah,
You see, I have a sword. They need your help.
I need your help. We need your help.
I especially need your help. You see? Look at these muscles. It's not much. Not working with much. Look at you. You're strong. You protect.
He looks down at his own arms, and it's mostly just covered by his like kind of baggy clothing. Just looks down.
Side note, I'm afraid we're setting this guy up for failure in the future. He's gonna go in front of something and be like, Rumgar, God! And we're gonna be like, no!
I thought that moment was already gonna happen
Oh
last
my
episode
gosh.
of the cave. So
Okay.
I still think that that's gonna happen in the future. We're gonna watch him die.
Oh my
I already know it.
Please, no!
I think Tristan just wanted to build it up a little longer so that it hurts more.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough. He decides in his mind that this seems to be agreeable, and after nodding, he starts to just kind of walk off towards Rodrick here and kind of post guard beside him.
Mm-hmm. I'll follow behind.
Follows very closely.
And then,
God.
as I follow
like
behind,
uncomfortably close.
walking away,
Yeah,
I
like-
turn to Arlyn and just lock eyes with him and just give him a nod as he heads off in the other direction.
Yep. And I put my scarf over my nose, and we start heading off.
Nice.
As soon as we're out of earshot, I'm just like, I missed the last few team meetings. Why are we doing this? Do we actually want meat?
No, not exactly.
Okay.
That's just a temporary fix to a long-term problem. He thinks they're going hunting, but we're really just trying to get him out of our way. We are going to go infiltrate this village. We're going to see exactly what's going on here, exactly what is wrong, why there are corpses outside this village, and see if it's safe for us to even go there, or even worth the trip as a group. Because if not, we might have to find an alternative for Rumgar. But, yeah, just figured it'd be a lot safer if someone, part of their people, came with me.
Absolutely, yeah, I'll be coming, but you look, Cleave strong, Cleave protect, right? But I'm not gonna lie to you. This is gonna be a tough one for me.
Why is that?
Where I come from, my village was called Usway. I don't know if you've lived in Manshire long.
I have not.
Usway village hasn't existed for some time now. Several months. No, it's been years.
Has not. What do you mean has not existed?
Well, I take a lot of blame for it, but mostly it was a storm. It was a storm that destroyed a beautiful place and a beautiful thing that I was trying to create. I wanted to make a nature preserve. See.
Wow.
Now, when we met Erendor, he showed me something that opened my eyes to the fact that I could trust him, which was the Komodo drakes, which I know a lot of you could be easily fearful of, but they're something that I've studied for some time and I've always wanted to preserve. And I had what I thought were the last two in all the land. Well, I had them in their enclosures, and the storm came, and it destroyed homes, and it destroyed enclosures. And when that happened, between the weather and between my escaped animals, I ended up losing most of my village.
Wow.
That's why, well, the place that was known as Usway came to be known as Stirwind, and I was once Cleave of Usway, and am now Cleave of Stirwind. But
Wow,
all
Cleave,
that to
I had
say,
no idea.
I want to come and help you, but I just want to warn you, fair warning. I don't know what I'm gonna feel or do. I don't know how helpful I will be in the mindset that I'm already afraid to walk into.
That's very fair, Cleave, and thank you for sharing that with me. But if we're going to be part of this adventuring life, some things are going to hurt. But as long as the purpose is good, we'll make it through. And at the end of the day, we're family, right?
I didn't stick around for the aftermath of what happened to my orc village. Part orc, I'll give you, but maybe this is my chance to do what I didn't do the last time.
Some closure.
In the best
In a
case,
way. Yes.
hopefully.
Well,
Carry on.
if it comes to be too much, communicate, and we will take some time.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. Well, let's carry on. How far are we from?
Is Barry with them currently?
Barry's with me.
So you just kind of pointed them in the general direction and sent them off?
I planned on, when you panned back to us, to send Barry.
Okay, alright.
as
Easy
soon
enough.
as you did, so I can monitor. But we're also super close to the village, so I wanted to send him off with a bit of a warning. So, are we going back to us now?
Yeah.
Or-
yeah.
Okay.
So
Alright.
as you look out and you walk off in the opposite direction to go hunting, you see that the entire time Rumgar is just kind of dragging the club and just like almost kind of pulling it up beside him, picking it up and dropping it in front of him. Dropping it down, sliding it and dropping it down in front of him. And continuing on, and as you sit there with Barry just sitting behind watching him almost kind of struggle with this, presumably, you're then reminded of the simple fact that, of course, they don't have a direct guide.
Mm-mm. Hey, Barry, we're really close to the village, so I'm gonna send you out this time. Take a look out for Arlyn and Cleave. Give them a sign if they get lost to where we are, but be careful, because I don't know who's out there. So most importantly, look out for yourself. And then send them off.
Fantastic. Alrighty. Now, are you guys looking to go just kind of the opposite direction of this large platform, go around it?
Were we heading north to the village, or were we?
Yes. So
we
from
would
here
go
it would be
west.
northeast. So you guys...
We're gonna go west from that platform as they go northeast or whatever
Fantastic.
towards it, but not
Okay.
very far. We're just kind of stalling in a sense.
Yeah, easy enough.
But,
You start walking your way across this platform of hardened earth, and you start traveling westward, where at some point you note that it breaks up, and so there are lots of sand still on top of this rocky earth, but you can see where the trail is that Rumgar has been leaving behind him with this line with his club. And at some point, he just kind of stops, and as you look past him, you can see that this rock seems to have gotten a lot higher in relation to the sands. And it kind of drops down into a smaller valley, almost.
How far down?
Maybe 15 feet.
Okay. Rumgar, you need some help with that thing?
He looks back at you.
Is it a little too big? for
I
you,
does
or-
not.
Okay. It looked a little heavy. If you needed something a little smaller, maybe you could something that you could swing a little faster.
Clearly offended. He just lifts it into both arms.
Okay. All right. Rodrick, where do you want to go?
All
I
right,
don't
well,
see any
really
animals.
quick before we head out, I needed to have one talk with Rumgar.
Oh, okay.
Rumgar, I'm going to say this once so you understand it in your native tongue. Space. I need space. You're too close to me. You've bumped into me every step of the way to this rock.
But
And listen, my skin's already crawling with the thought of spiders, but having you just right on my thigh every... I'm just about lost. I'm going to be honest with you, Calagon. I don't know how much further I can go. So can you ask him for protection? I think I made a mistake.
I think you're fine.
My cross to bear, I guess.
Do you think we should go down this valley?
Well, what's in that valley?
Having heard all this, Rumgar looks over, moves over to Calagon, pulls at your sleeve.
What's up? What? What do you want?
TBD.
Goes to whisper in your ear. And he points down at the valley.
spiders.
Oh. Down there. Well, Rodrick, I think we should go the other way.
What did he say?
Rodrick, you are safe, protected.
Well, as long as Rumgar's here, we're protected. But I think there might be some spiders down there.
Down there.
Yeah, that's what he said. So,
Well, perhaps we should stay close to the others to a degree.
yeah, I'm not going down there.
Rumgar.
The spiders during daytime or nighttime? Or all the time?
Rumgar came through a place like this, and
he just kind of starts scooping sand together, and then he like puts it in one hand, and you watch as he just like puts a finger through the sand in his hand.
Run. I'm running back towards the hard area. I turn around and I just say run.
All right, we're running.
You watch him with his club just like suddenly like all sorts of terrified as you guys just dip. And he's just trying his best to catch up, but unfortunately very slow given his stature and the fact that he's carrying around.
I'll stop, come back,
this
and try to
large
pick
club.
him up. How heavy is he?
Not very at
I'm
all.
gonna throw him on my
Hold on,
shoulders.
As we're running, I want to say to Calagon, maybe we should have included him in the team meeting.
I'm running back to the same spot. He's on my shoulders, which means he's probably hitting my head with his, what is it, a torch?
Fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no, he was carrying.
He was carrying
No.
the club.
Wait,
he was carrying the club. Yeah. So they swapped.
Before we
No,
left.
I did not.
Can we say you did?
No, he's had it this whole time.
I didn't do that.
Oh no!
But the club has always been basically improvised, so I'm gonna have the same situation. Not that I'm gonna be great with it, with like a shovel or something,
Okay.
or maybe I think the
It's a
vibe would be
village.
an unlit torch. I think that's basically a club.
Lovely.
I would say
Maybe
at
I'll
this
light it
point,
if the worst
honestly,
comes to worst.
Hey, fire
I-
damage.
I would be running in the direction where they were headed.
Yeah.
I would be
Okay.
running toward the village.
Which is, well, we got to go back to the spot, then towards the village, or can we go straight to it?
You guys can head straight to, generally
Alright,
speaking. It is just a large platform for a little bit, but I mean, you guys didn't get especially far from each other.
Do I see Barry still, or is he?
Yeah, you can definitely still see him in the sky off
I'm calling him back.
over on the other end.
if I can.
Yeah, for sure.
As I didn't even tell you why, did I? So as we're running, I'm gonna say, spiders. They're coming from the ground. They're not from the cave. They come from the ground. Let's get out of here.
I saw what he did with his hand, and I read through the lines.
Now, you two on the other end, having been kind of following Barry like the North Star, continue on, and dune after dune, just trekking your way through these sands, having this conversation about past times and issues with Uswe and whatnot. And it seems to bring you back in part as you see the beautiful yet broken remains of what is not just a town, but a small keep of sorts. You see these tan walls built on top of this sturdy rock platform, starting the head of this sturdy fortress with 8 columns, these massive pillars reaching up from deep below the sands that you can tell having just been worn over time, but kind of buried by these sands. These don't even seem to be the middle points, as you can see the arch slowly building down, and you watch as each of these columns gets lower and lower until that closest one seems to kind of just be at the edge of the sand. You see this
Wood or
large
stone?
stairwell. I'm sorry?
Wood or stone? columns?
Stone. And you see this large stairwell, also made of some sort of like perhaps limestone or something of the sort. And you walk your way up, and you see these massive golden scorpions set on pedestals. These statued figures, as though to ward off potential natural predators within this sandy oasis.
This is amazing.
I know I'm primitive, but I'm also like the Animal Planet guy. Can I know the word arachnids?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, they worshipped the arachnids, and look at what it brought them.
It's ridiculous.
Wow. Well, doesn't look like any old village I've ever been to.
No, this is more than a village for sure. Not that it's that big, but it's more than my village was, that's for sure.
I suppose we must trek carefully.
Oh, yeah, from here on in, we certainly should.
I'm
I
gonna
pull
take
out my
out
shield,
sword.
if you could call it that, and my torch.
And I have my shield. And I have my sword.
Okay.
Is a lot of it like, how do I say it, like flammable? Are there huts and stuff inside, or is it?
Right now you guys are outside the gate, so it's hard to see as it is
Okay.
kind of stepped upward multiple levels. But if you guys would like to go in and check it out yourselves,
just
by
wide
all
open?
means. The gate is, in fact, make a perception check.
I can do that.
I mean, I assume I'm looking for a way in too. Can I do that as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
16.
16. Okay. Arlyn?
13.
13.
Not great.
Fantastic. Yeah, you kind of have to step up towards the platform, and you realize that the sands below your feet aren't shifting nearly as much as they had been previously. And you can tell that maybe a foot or two below you, there definitely is some more solid ground where rather than stepping on a mound and having everything just start to kind of like dissipate, just start to break apart around your feet, you note that this seems to be more stable mound. And as you continue forward, you kind of pull one of these as you start to look, and it looks like there are large wooden doors in place set to protect this stable city of sorts, this stronghold. What looks like one of them being open, instead you can tell is somewhat shattered
Ooh.
from below.
Do you see anything?
Looks like there will be space for us to get in, but it doesn't look good. It looks like maybe there was some kind of, well, as we could assume, some sort of breach. The scary part is if you can see it there, let's take a look there. It looks like it's at the bottom. And if this came from burrowing spiders, my fear was that they curled over the walls, but if that came from beneath, ugh. But I don't know. Feel beneath us. Give it a stomp. You feel that? I think
Pretty solid.
I think there's a structure that's already been buried some in the sand. I think we've
Yes.
already sort of entered onto their maybe road.
Maybe. Well, what do you think we should do?
Well, we'll be able to get in from the front, as much as I hate it. And if it's mostly bodies, it won't be guarded. We'll just have to be careful. I don't know what we're gonna find.
Yes. All right. I guess we have no other choice. We've made it this far.
Yeah, we travel
Yeah.
forward.
Yep.
Okay. Across the splintered remains of this fortress's front door, you look up, and a good 30, 40 feet above you, they continue to extend out where it almost kind of arches now above, and you can kind of just duck under that right side as it's still kind of somewhat ajar. But you walk your way in and immediately are presented with a few different clear figures. You note specifically that within this courtyard there are the bodies of 3 orcs just strewn across the ground, clearly distracting from all of the vibrant tents and tapestries woven about from end to end in this beautiful place. The stonework, the tiles are clearly meticulously crafted, each individually with their own designs, ornate with beautiful trims, all just carved in. You see this this octagonal platform in the center where it breaks up into 3 different tiers, eventually leading to a fully functional fountain. The first water you've seen for miles at this point.
Do you know where I lived? They called it a reservation, but to most of the people I knew, they felt more like Manshire was keeping us out there. People
Wow.
would call us. Well, people would describe the type of fighters and people that we had as barbarians, but they never liked that. In fact, most of them didn't even. If not for the fact that we were living on a part orc reservation, we would have. They mostly identified themselves as human because they didn't want to be put in that box of orcs and barbarians. But to look at what a real orc society looks like that I've never seen, even they didn't deserve that.
No, they definitely didn't. This is splendid. I've never seen anything like this before. Do I see any markings around and like in the ornate areas?
Yeah, for sure. In fact, make an investigation check. There's that one about there.
Wonderful, that one.
Beautiful. Yeah, all over the place. Just lovely markings, etchings, engravings all about you. And you look on, and it's just kind of overwhelming, just the amount. But it's primarily just patterning that you can see immediately.
Wow. The amount of work there was to craft this place. How are you feeling?
More nervous than I was expecting. It's like I thought I'd get here and feel. Well, there is sorrow, but it's like I'm still feeling the pre-entrance jitters. Like something's coming.
Well, we must be careful because something very well might appear. So
And he does look at a couple of the bodies as he walks by and kind of like almost like flinches away from them and looks forward.
Yeah. As you step across, you see that there are entryways between tents set to your right and to your left, as well as this longer, just kind of almost like lobby, if you will. This massive open space where you can see that the majority of these bodies seem to be kind of thrown about, if you will. You know, one orc arm behind him laid kind of partially on one of the stairs of the fountain. Which way would you guys like to go?
Let's take a look around us to make sure nobody else is watching us, especially if this would feel disrespectful, but they are just laying around.
that is true.
I think we should. If you got the stomach for it, I think we should take a closer look at the body. I don't know how this happened. Any wounds? Or
I think that's the way to go. And so I'm going to approach the first dead orc there.
Okay.
And can I inspect him and see
For
what's going
sure.
on? Any wounds or anything like that?
I just want to help him by, like, if it's anything nature related, I'll be kind of covering those bases. Like, oh, that doesn't look like teeth. Oh, that looks like this.
Cool. Yeah.
Give him a little help.
Make an investigation check with help at advantage.
Okay.
For the audience at home, if you've never played these types of games, advantage means that you roll the die twice and you take the better one.
Yeah. Okay. That one's a 13
Okay.
and an 11. So I will take the 13.
Nice. Okay.
Dice aren't in my favor today, like they
Those
were
were pretty
last
good.
week.
That was pretty good. Well,
Kicking last week.
it's a 20-sided die, and
Yeah. Out of 20.
13's pretty good. 13's pretty good.
Face down, you note that this orc immediately, upon flipping it, you start to kind of feel around. There are no gashes or otherwise blood anywhere on its body. The one clear apparent difference, however, is that when you flipped over the orc, you'd definitely expected to see bigger tusks than what a half-orc has. However, what you instead see are no tusks.
It's rather strange. You said you were part orc, correct?
Right. Not even necessarily half.
What percentage
wrong?
you said again?
Probably like 12 and a half.
12.5%. Look at him. You feel like you look more orc than he does.
I hate that I'm going to say this, but could you flip down his lip, take a good look?
All right.
My fear is that maybe I just lived in the wilderness for too long and I've hunted too much, but what if they were hunted for their tusks?
The thought just crossed my mind too.
I feel sick. He like turns.
My
take a
stomach is
breather.
turning here too.
Okay.
I'm gonna reach down and I take a deep breath. I look at Cleave and I'm going to pull his lip down.
You kind of grab at his lip, and as you peel it back, you see for the first time blood on this body. As you can see, his mouth seems to be mostly filled with blood where 2 teeth once were.
Does this look
What'd you
like
find?
the...
I'm not looking.
You're not looking?
I don't look.
So I start speaking as I'm looking, and then he goes, I'm not looking. I look back, and he's just not looking away. I understand, Cleave. I won't make you look at this, but do you think spiders have an affinity for tusks?
No spider did this. Those are... It's gotta be trophies. Maybe evidence that somebody has done this. Or maybe it's worth something in the trade. I wouldn't know.
I think, from my experience, haven't met many giant spiders, but sometimes I feel like our kind can be worse than some of these creatures. Let's check the others.
Yeah, just give me 1 second.
I turn and walk around a corner, and then you just hear like probably would have expected a different sound. I'm smashing my torch against a wall, and just breaking it to pieces.
Wow.
Just shatter it and then I come back around and just say,
I feel better.
Feel
and I
better?
pull a new one out.
Well,
Pull a new one out.
I have 10. I have
10 torches.
Yeah, I have a lot of torches.
survivalist. He's ready for everything.
Okay.
I have 9 now, but you know.
Having just beat your torch to smithereens against the walls of this stronghold, you come back to the familiar sight now. And you can see the 3 bodies strewn about all across this patterned
Here it is.
opening here.
Sorry.
Oh.
Was looking for this.
That's better.
There you go.
It's a big torch.
Jeez.
Maybe I broke the
That's
door
the
down. I
whole.
don't know.
That's all 10 of
Broken
them
against
all
one
at
of the
once.
carts.
Kind of. He dropped
One
all
of the
10
carts
torches.
around here.
All right.
Well then.
As you come back out, the slow, steady stream of the fountain just kind of trickling about, and you just listen as it seems to be on some sort of automated pump system.
Is it small enough that I could reach my hand into the actual falling part of the water and catch water?
Yeah, you can reach over.
Yeah, I want to feel that and then just splash some in my face and then like take my cupped hand and try to like drink a little bit.
Okay.
While he's doing that, I am going to make my way to the next orc and
Okay.
examine his body.
I will give you the benefit of the doubt. Go ahead and roll a second investigation check, but not with advantage.
All right.
I take the water and my hair, my little hair that's in front of my head is all
11.
crazy from the
Same deal.
from the fit that I just threw, and I just take it and I slick my little bit of hair back again.
Fixing your messy hair.
My little
your little hair patch.
Nice.
So I keep that to myself for now, and I'm gonna go off to the third orc, and I'm going to examine him. Can I try again?
Sure.
Here I go.
11.
Are you looking for
You can
more,
have
or
this
are you
dice.
just looking for? Are you looking for more? Or just
I was waiting
the
for us to all be
tusks
surprised by it
again?
being actually a D12 instead of a D20.
That was a 9.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there doesn't seem to be too much. They do have like little things on them and pockets and stuff like that, mostly kind of scrapped together, but largely each one of them, despite being in the desert sands, they do still have some sort of thickened hides to the majority of them. But this one is a little bit different in that he does have like a slight plating of some sort of creature. No.
How's the smell?
Wait, some of them wear hides.
Yeah.
He's like, ooh,
I
I'd
might
like some armor.
not, and none of them look. I'm gonna hate this. I'm gonna hate this so much, and I'll wait till we've investigated. But actually, let's do another part of the investigate. Would you mind? Oh, I'm gonna hate this. I'm gonna grab this fellow here. I'm gonna grab his legs, and if you could just, or I mean, even if we just roll him, I just want to make sure there's no blood underneath him.
Right.
All right, so we just want to like
I'm gonna
roll
help.
him over or push him over
Yep.
the side. No blood whatsoever.
Nothing immediately for sure.
Well, that tells me two possible things. One is that the method of presumably killing that happened wasn't necessarily by the blade. And even if it was, and if it was tried, that this is good armor. It's not what would have taken them. I'm going to wait until we know that there's no survivors, no one to offend. But I've been a survivalist all my life. If it doesn't disgust you too much, I'd like to preserve one of these hide armors and,
Go
and use
for
it. Use it myself.
Yes, definitely. We must need all the protection we can get.
You probably will.
Nice. Having run across the desert sands in fear of potential spiders somewhere deep below, you guys find yourself face to face with these just towering walls and these massive golden statued scorpions.
I'm gonna pick up Rumgar and set him down. Okay, alright, I think they're inside, Rodrick.
Okay. Rumgar, does this look familiar to you? Is this your home?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Elaborate, please.
This was last home?
I was right.
Right about what?
Him. I got him. I knew it. I knew it.
What am I missing?
He's not from here, Calagon.
What? Okay.
His clan took it over. Last. The dead orcs you see are not his family.
Did we see dead orcs?
The ones from Barry.
Oh, okay.
Do you think his family did that?
Hey, Rumgar. Does your family kill? Oh, that's crazy.
I'm gonna take like one step away from Rumgar. Well,
oh my goodness.
this is a beautiful place, Rumgar. Why did you leave?
I left to find orcs.
To kill? For what? Why would you leave a family of orcs to go find more?
Orcs strong.
Was it to maybe ingrain them into your society?
And he points up at the door.
The weak get left behind.
Did you get left behind?
Rumgar is not weak.
Rodrick, we could be here all day asking questions.
We just need answers.
I think the answers are inside.
Inside? Well, and also our friends are inside. That might be the best place to be. Do you see any way to get in?
I don't know. Let me look.
There's a pretty clear entrance, generally speaking, right up the large arched stairwell between columns.
Oh, never mind.
There's a pretty clear entrance right over there. Yeah. Let's head that way.
Yeah, without fail. You guys are met with the immediate vision of your two new friends. Well, not as new for you with Cleave. Playing with a dead orc body. As you see, they flip last second and they're just sitting there. Just you see Cleave hand to face for a second as he kind of like looks away, and you watch as Arlyn kind of goes in deeper and picks up the head of this orc.
I'm gonna say, whoa! That's not the strong meat we were talking about, guys. I'm hungry too.
Immediately, I drop my part of the orc and I wield my sword.
I was gonna say, like, I wheel around with my torch. Why did you bring him here?
Well, so
yes,
funny
please
thing.
explain.
Spiders, not only in caves, they come from the dirt, from the sand, from under the sand. So we ran here.
All right, good.
Yeah. What'd you guys find?
I
look
just
down
run,
at the orcs.
I run to them. I run over towards you guys.
Same.
And
Well, I walk nicely.
like no, I fold like basically I sprint, and when I get there, I just drop to one knee and face Rumgar. And I just
Rumgar
wanna
is
get-
not there.
Rumgar is not there. Okay,
Rumgar
never mind.
didn't follow us in.
Okay, all right. So I'll get to the door then, or to where they are. at the
Where's
entrance.
Rumgar?
And
He's
I'll
just
look
here.
around. Where's
Just
Rumgar?
oh, is that water? Can we drink that?
I drank some. It seems safe, but where's the boy?
I'm gonna run
He
over
might
to
die.
the
I'm just
water
gonna run to it.
and grab some water. I'm so thirsty.
He might die later.
Rumgar is standing there holding your club at the side and just looking up at the gates where you are.
Very good. This is where you're from?
Do I hear him ask him that from where I'm drinking
Yeah.
water? I've got a bit of information for you.
Rodrick, keep it down.
I'm sorry.
We still have not discovered what is inside these
You
corridors.
just
I'm
see as
gonna-
he shakes his head down there.
I'm gonna kind of like quickly skip on over to them,
Well,
like
then-
wet, because I drank too fast. And I'm gonna go, Cleave, this is not his home. It's not.
You never been here before?
No, he's been here. It's just not his home. It was his home last. Do you know what that means?
That he moved?
To the cave? Did you move to the cave?
He's like 50 feet from you as you're just kind of shouting to him. He doesn't seem to know how to answer that question, and he doesn't seem to be speaking currently.
I look back to you.
I'm from a village. I've seen the way clans operate. The strong ones go to the weaker ones and slaughter them. And Rumgar strong, Rumgar protect, Rumgar murderer.
Well, what if? Now I hate this. Are you in? Yeah, you walked over, right?
Yeah, I'm there.
I hate that my very hopeful presuppositions might have been wrong, but maybe this isn't even an orc village.
That's very possible, yes.
But
Regardless.
if then they died, then how did they? Oh, I shouldn't have drank the water.
After I drink some water,
You watch as he gulps down water, turning to you.
you said this was okay.
You spit it out now. I like reach into his water, into his mouth, trying to shape water, but I can't because he's in a living being.
Incredible. See as the water from your hands just start to kind of fade away, just dripping now away from you and just kind of getting pulled out like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Throw up. Go throw up right now.
I'm fine,
You do
Cleave. It felt
You
great.
too, Cleave.
I have to throw up. We have to throw up.
All of you throw up.
It is. I had to anyway when I came in here. I kind of felt like I had to.
Well, honestly, 5 minutes before I drank that water, I would rather have died. So, if I die now, it kind of puts me in the same place.
All right, look. As long as we finally have the team meeting that we've needed, there aren't any wounds on any of these bodies.
Did you check any of their pockets?
Should we
For
check
what?
to see if Rumgar recognizes the bodies?
That's
No.
a good idea.
I'm gonna check their pockets.
I'm sorry, Cleave, but I think
You're really
that's a good
protecting
idea.
him, aren't you?
This is gonna be the worst thing that I said. Look at him. He's like.
I can assure you he's seen worse.
If he comes from a clan of murderers or
We-
conquerors, I'm sure he has seen much worse.
We've presumed.
I'm
All right,
gonna
can
go
we just
pickpocket
first
them.
look around if there's any other species bodies, any other race?
I want to see if they have any, if they're holding
Sure.
anything in this armor
Yes.
or clothing.
Make an investigation check.
He's already investigating the bodies.
I want to start checking inside of
That
homes
was
and
a
stuff.
nat 1.
Wow, killing it, guys.
My hands are too
A
big
rough
to go
one
in the
today.
pockets.
Except his nat 20 is a rough one today.
Okay.
I got a nat 20.
With
Did you?
a
And a nat
specific
one.
goal in
Man.
mind, you do start to feel around, and you're able to, without fail, find a few different pouches just hanging loose from a few of them that have remains of different sorts, just small little kind of bones, as well as what seems to be some moldy fruit.
I throw the bones at Cleave. What are these, Cleave? Where's this from?
All right. Pick 'em back up
Do you
off
catch
the,
it,
off the
or does it
ground.
just hit you?
I mean, if it's a bunch of bones, that would have been really hard.
Well, it's a pouch full of bones, right?
It's like a pouch
getting
full of
raped
bones,
up
yeah.
by
It's a
bones.
pouch full of
okay,
bones.
okay. All right, no, then I'll check. All right.
What kind
And
of
I open it up.
bones? What's in there?
They're little. Is this some sort of divination? What is?
You look at it, and it's a pouch of bones.
Can I tell what kind of animal,
Make
maybe?
a nature or medicine check. I'll say nature or medicine check.
I'm good at both those. I'll do medicine though. Pretty good at that. Low roll, but I'm pretty good at it. It's 7 total.
Oh wow.
7. No, it's hard to tell. A lot of bones definitely have similar bits and pieces, and there aren't any individual markings that would make them especially like no prominent features like beaks or anything that you can see. You know.
I don't know. This is a bit disturbing to me. I don't see the use for it, but there are some people who think that they can learn from bones. I knew a lady. She was kind of the crazy lady of the village.
Mm-hmm.
She would just like roll around little bones, and she was like, it's gonna rain, and then it didn't rain. She didn't know anything. She just,
So you don't know what they are, or what they're for.
if they had a crazy lady like our village had, that's probably what it is.
All right.
But
So this might be the village crazy lady. All right. We gonna get Rumgar in here, or
Well,
Can I
I
just-
just wanted us all to be on the same page before we did that. See
we
that
just-
Cleave had objections.
So you said that you look back and you see that Rumgar is just kind of holding onto the door at the entryway and staring at you guys, kind of like half hidden.
It's weird that he wants us to come here, but he won't come inside.
It's a beautiful thing called shame.
It's- I don't know, man. I
Or
think,
knowledge.
I think he's innocent until proven guilty.
Well,
This
there's
is
only
just an
one
assumption.
way to know. But Cleave, what other way do we have other than him seeing dead bodies?
Well, I think there's two things we should look for before we pull him in and let him see if he recognizes anybody. Number one, I can try one more line of questioning. While I'm doing that, if you could all look around and see if there's anybody besides orcs that are bodies here. If there are, then we know perhaps it was a group of marauding orcs.
Okay,
I'll go north.
I'll go west.
I'll go east.
Check
It's a big
inside of some of
courtyard,
the-
right?
The
That
tents,
whole main
maybe.
area.
So there's like the main courtyard, and then it kind of branches off where those tents and a building to the left, or like a walled structure, seem to kind of cut it off a little bit.
I'd say we probably check the main courtyard area first.
Like through the tents and things
Just
like
like
that?
just like
Yeah.
where the tents are and those little merchant shops around.
Okay, I'm looking all around the eastern area.
Cool. Yeah, each of you guys make an investigation check for me.
I'm using a different die. Let's see. And I roll a 19. That's the die for today. Arlyn colors.
Okay. Nice. Good
8
touch.
for my
Nice one.
westward investigation.
Okay.
7 for north.
Solid. You guys notice that there seem to be an assortment of different vendors about. Some textile, some kind of natural foods and things, some oils. The foods clearly not looking so hot. Arlyn, you on the other hand, catch note of, while there's plenty of disarray expected to come from a place like this, kind of generally sat out in the elements, there seems to be a little bit more ruin.
More, sorry?
Ruin. As you
Ruin.
look
Okay.
underneath one of these tents, there seems to be a display that had previously been set up using a series of crates. And you see that one of these crates is kind of busted out in the bottom corner. And at closer inspection, you notice just a line of blood strewn under it.
How big are these crates?
About 3 feet by 3 feet.
Okay. As I'm looking, before I immediately cause a commotion, can I see anything written, any sort of writing to tell language?
There seem to be small little pieces about, for the display specifically, that are in common.
Okay.
That just kind of note general, again, mercantile goods, things of the sort that just, patterned rug with a price.
Okay. Gotcha. Anybody find anything?
Nothing on my end.
Nope. Nothing here.
Cleave? Anything?
I'm up front talking to. I haven't started the conversation yet, but yeah.
Gotcha. I think I did here. You mind coming?
I will walk
All right.
over towards Arlyn.
Okay. Yeah, you guys wander over there while Cleave finds himself face to face with little Rumgar held onto the wooden door at the end of the outpost.
Rumgar was. It looks inside of there like. Maybe. Well, I don't really know, but was there a great battle here? Did they have a fight?
Mm-hmm.
Was that the last time you were here? There was a fight. Yeah. And who are you fighting? Was it the people that lived here?
Butcher.
You were fighting Butcher? The person who had the butcher shop? No.
Orc Butcher.
You were fighting an orc, Butcher? It was orcs fighting orcs? No. But you were fighting an orc. Just you?
Rumgar did not fight. Rumgar could not fight. Rumgar, he kind of pauses. I was told to hide.
Very good. You were hiding. That you're following orders. That's good. In any battle, you should follow orders.
The weak get left behind.
You were hiding, and then someone left.
They all left. Rumgar, you're all alone.
Oh my god.
You're not gonna be left, Rumgar.
Rumgar, no family. Rumgar, not part of your family.
You get me?
He takes one deep swallow, and he kind of steps into the
See if I can get it
courtyard
out.
now for the first time.
Gosh. I shouldn't be laughing.
Raka,
Who? That's who that is? Raka?
Okay.
Raka? Did Raka get left behind?
Rumgar left Raka and orcs. No. Humans. They are weak. Weak get left behind. They are humans. Rumgar, orc.
Raka is a human? Because he's weak? Yes. Do you know why he's laying there?
Butcher killed Raka.
Butcher, yes, Butcher. Butcher is an orc that you know. You don't know him? Butcher is from another place?
Butcher is
Different family?
Butcher. There are orc, there are human, there are dragon, and butcher.
Very good. Did Butcher have a weapon? He carry something like this? Pointing at his club.
I don't know.
Did you see Butcher? No, yeah. That's good. Okay.
I heard butcher.
What did Butcher sound like?
He kind of looks around for a second.
Did Butcher
Like-
have a voice that you could hear?
Like, us.
Like footsteps or like a voice?
He spoke, he said.
He stops and he starts thinking for a time.
I don't remember.
He spoke, okay. But that's good. That's good. Alright. That helps. Then we can know who Butcher is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You're doing good, Rumgar. Alright, so... You were where were you hiding? Can you show me where you hid? Very good. Alright. Can I
What you got?
give you the fire again? I'm gonna light it up, but be careful. Give you the fire. You give me the club? Yeah? Very good. Alright, I'm gonna light that thing up. Very careful now. Hold it 2 hands. All right. Let's take a look around. I have him lead me the way.
He takes a deep breath, and you watch as he walks across the courtyard and just sobbing under his breath to the best of his ability as he kind of steps past his fallen orc comrades. He walks forward into the building directly ahead of you, and you can see now this kind of beautiful open room that almost extends as a lobby of sorts between this courtyard and this secondary platform, if you will, where it has a minor step up, but you find yourself instead in a second but smaller courtyard, where it opens to this almost housing unit, if you will, where you can see that the front faces of each of these buildings now that you can see are each separately, clearly individually decorated. Each has a style of their own, and each is surprisingly unique and very pretty in their own rights. You watch as, at some point, he slowly kind of walks his way over and stands at the doorway. And he just kind of
You were in
points
this
his head in.
house. Very good. Now we walked past all our people now, so I don't know. Was there any overlap of our conversations?
Well, they were kind of exploring their own thing, having gotten pulled over
Were
to
they
the
inside
side
of
at the
something?
same time. So
Okay.
as you're kind of going northward, they seem to be pulled over, where Arlyn shows you all this blood splatter, hidden kind of somewhat beneath a rug and pressed against a crate.
I found this.
Is it a box?
A box of blood.
What color's the blood?
Red.
Do you
Oh yeah, my
remember?
blood is green, right? Was that where I was at?
Do you remember when Cleave got that cut?
Yeah.
What color was his blood? I know he made a big deal about
It was green.
It's
but he
green.
did say it was normal for his kind.
Yes, it was green.
Green. Even though he's
This
only
is-
12.5% orc, it's still green, I guess.
Oh.
Always
That's not
has
the way
been.
ancestry works.
Yeah, well,
He's probably more orc than he thinks.
it's a weird world out there. Don't tell him that.
Yes, yeah. We'll keep it to ourselves.
Uh,
That's
That is
not.
1/8. All right, I just want to say that real fast for the record. That's a real thing.
I'm gonna
That's
lift
like a
one of these
great-grandparent or
boxes.
That is not orcish blood.
Can I lift one of these boxes?
They seem to be kind of heavy with goods, but you're able to kind of push it aside, and you note that they do open at the top.
I'm gonna lift one up. Are they on top of each other, like, or is it just
There
one?
are a few, but currently you're just looking at one.
Okay, well then I'll lift the top up at one. What's
Nice.
inside?
Yeah, there is a human body, finely dressed, head to toe. You see a cap thrown on top, covering what looks like a series of different blood stains
I
all
throw the
across
top
their
back
body.
on as soon as I see what's inside. Guys,
Yes.
and I peek up a little bit and show them what's inside. I peek up a little bit and show them what's inside.
Something bad happened here.
I close it. Rumgar must know.
I'm sure he does. Does anybody know what Cleave is?
You definitely just saw him walk off northward.
Oh, we saw him go.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
We saw him walk northward with Rumgar.
He didn't clear it up with us first. The whole thing was to check for one last thing before he saw the orcs.
I don't know, but this all feels weird.
Maybe he knows something that led him to believe that he was ready to see those orcs.
Should we go find him?
Let's go.
I was gonna say that is what I wanted when I was asking about overlap. Like when I passed them, if I walk way, my map didn't on my screen didn't load, so it took me a while to realize you were saying I walk across the whole town.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just at least a gesture. When I walk past them, I would have liked to be like, just mouth to them I'm following.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gotcha.
okay.
You guys walk across the courtyard and through this doorway where you can see the same elaborate scenery. You see these colored almost spices beside you at the ground. And as you walk out and down these stairs, you start to hear this creaking. And instinctively kind of looking over to try to find your friend, you're instead met with a very, very different appearance. As you can see in the corner, open doors now, staring you dead in the face, this large white creature, hunched over, massive stake in hand, this large wooden kind of just flattened piece, as it just looks you all left to right, just and that's where we're gonna take a break.
Let's go.
Oh no!
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
My goodness!
When we
That's
get back-
gonna get crazy.
Can I just be like 30 seconds in the past talking to him about like the front door?
Yeah, for sure,
alright,
for sure.
Okay.
No problem.
Wow.
All right. Well, we will see you guys in about 10 minutes. Thank you so much for following through with us, and well, we're excited to see how this goes.
And stick
Yeah.
around. We'll be on camera during the break as well.
There you
That's
go.
right.
All right.
All right. Welcome back, guys. We are very excited to start back here with a little bit of fun. Thank you, David, for absolutely killing it on that front, and for all the kind words. Always a great joy to get to work with such awesome friends and performers and family here. Like, this is just what an experience. Let's just start there. You guys are incredible. So this is just super cool. But as we go back into it, Calagon, Rodrick, and Arlyn, now having just seen, well, I guess Calagon specifically having just seen and described to the others the fact that there is a body hidden in one of the crates that would otherwise be goods. You guys trekked across the way to go find your friend Cleave along with little Rumgar, who, Cleave, you now know to feel quite displaced. Now, recognizing the fact that he is walking over the corpses of his family, he points you in the direction of a certain bedroom where he says he had hidden previously. And upon glancing in, you can see immediately laid down in the two beds, arms across their chest, two orcs.
Oh man.
You hid in this whole place and Butcher couldn't find you? Butcher's not so smart, eh?
He points around and you can see this little window on the back end that's kind of broken out.
Rumgar. Hit out.
You couldn't use the door?
They said run that way.
Very good. And then you went back to... And then you don't know what happened? Is that the last thing you remember?
I came out and they were gone.
Yeah. But you don't remember meeting any spiders? You did meet spiders after that?
Mm-mm.
Were they here?
Mm-mm.
That's when you left and you found them?
I left to find orcs.
Yes.
So they can help protect.
Very good. So, the people, what did you say his name was that we saw on the ground back there?
Raka.
Raka? Butcher got Raka?
Butcher got Raka.
Yeah. And inside there, Butcher got them? Very good. Alright, we don't have to be here anymore. Yeah, come on.
And
We turn us around.
you turn around to see the faces of your friends now kind of frozen, all stared off one way as you now hear this low growling come from beside you and a slam. I'm gonna need everybody to roll for initiative.
Oh man.
14.
14. All right. 12.
8.
8. All right. So 14, 12, 8. And Cleave.
14 also.
Say 14.
Mm-hmm.
Dex mods. What is
Mine's a
yours?
plus
Cleave?
one.
+1. And Calagon. What is your dexterity modifier?
You're +2.
+2. Yep.
+2. All right. So technically going at the same time, we will start with Calagon before Cleave when the time comes. However, wow. With an 18, the ogre is going to go before you, but nowhere near the nat 20 that is Rumgar.
Wow.
Rumgar protect.
As
all right.
Rumgar protect.
My
Rumgar
first thing I was gonna do was
hears
go
a
to him.
crash.
I'm so scared.
He freezes up for a moment. And he looks down, and there's this clear shivering in his body. As he looks over into the room. And you see as he takes this now lit torch, and he just pulls it up overhead and just starts running. Ah! And just sprinting over as he can now see the face of this
opportunity
ogre.
attack Rumgar
Oh my gosh.
with a grab. But just grab
Oh,
It's got a nat
man.
20 though.
It definitely makes sense. He is going quick. But he did take a second to kind of take that breather and kind of steal his resolve. So, yes, go for it. It will be sloppy.
Oh, it's not great, but he's not super strong. Maybe that's gonna be with just these hands. That's a 8.
An 8. Let's see here. Yeah, fantastic. You go to grab at him, and kind of having to dodge out for a second, you kind of swoop your hand out in front of him, and you go to just kind of hoist him into your arms as he instead pushes your arm out with his elbow. Shockingly strong for a little fella.
I was right.
He's
I'm gonna
the
watch him.
strong-
I'm gonna be looking at the ogre and then looking at this way to see Rumgar running, completely barrel through Cleave, and I'll be like, he wasn't
strong.
lying.
As he runs by our group, I'm gonna say, Rumgar, no!
He is booking it full shout, just torch over his head. However, not nearly fast enough to make it all the way to this ogre. As Calagon, you're up next, followed by Cleave. Or I'm sorry, no,
Okay,
forgive
yeah,
me,
that
I'm a liar. The ogre is actually next on this one.
Oh,
Whee!
This is
Okay.
the moment I've been waiting for 2 sessions. Right after that emotional.
Yeah.
Wow. There are 4 people within this ogre's reach. And I'm going to tell you all right now, I put these in sets of 5s, rolling a d20. Upper 5 being Arlyn, then going to Calagon, then Rodrick, lower 5 being Rumgar, and of course the ogre goes and rolls.
A 1.
And that one.
It's the
Perfect.
dice are telling us.
No way.
Stress me out.
So,
Stress me out.
No, Rumgar, no!
you all watch as, in this frenzied display of anger, this ogre barrels through these doors, and you can see now just how it happened previously, as you see it fracturing into his hands as he kind of peels out at the door with one hand, and you can see that what he is holding in the other hand is actually a portion of the main door that you guys had previously walked through. And as he runs over, he goes to slam at this small little orc boy,
Oh man.
and at the last second seems to trip just a little bit on these chains hanging from his wrists. slamming this piece of door into the ground and shattering it.
Perfect.
Calagon.
After I see this, as much as I do not like Rumgar, I'm going to run. Is there room in between them to run?
Currently, barely. There is just literally like enough space for you
Okay.
to squeeze between Rodrick and
So-
get to Rumgar.
Okay, I'm just
but-
gonna try to distract him. I'm gonna stay at his side, and I'm just in the moment, super mad, pretty heated. Breath weapon.
Wow.
Let's
Okay.
Go.
Amazing. Let's see how he does.
Dex 12.
Dex 12. Incredible. Well, I did in fact roll a 13 with a -1.
Ah, well,
So still just barely makes it.
All right. Well, then nothing happens, huh?
Well,
Nothing
I'm
happens,
trying
or
to think,
does it
is
take
it
half?
half damage or is it
hold on,
nothing
yeah.
on that one? I
Hold on.
Might
think
be
yours
half.
was half, right, from before?
15-foot cone. Each creature in the area must take 0. If you fail to save, the creature takes 1d10 damage. On a successful save, it takes half as much damage. Its
Okay,
damage
so yeah, go ahead and roll your
increases
d10.
by when you reach 5th level. So, 3. Wait, is that a 9 or 6? I can't tell.
it would be 60. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it'd be
So
6.
he
yeah,
takes
3.
the 3 damage. Okay, yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. Respectful. I like that.
So I get angry, and then I breathe
Get him, Kelly.
force on him and cough as I breathe. 'cause-
Nice. You watch as he takes the other panel last second of the door that he just now peeled off in front of you, and last second just kind of pulls it your way as though to smack you to stop. And rather than hitting you, it instead just kind of mistakenly blocks a portion of that. While you see that part of him kind of gets knocked back in the one shoulder, the rest seems to just kind of sputter and fail as it instead knocks into this, just shattering it in his hands. And he just looks confused for that moment.
Do I have movement left still?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna go behind him.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you're gonna want to stay relatively close. You know that much.
Mm-hmm.
But
So I'm gonna hit him from the side and then run behind him after I hit him.
okay. So I'll tell you. You know what? How close do you want to stay to him?
I mean, I don't mind. Oops, sorry. I don't mind being 5 feet
Okay.
behind him.
Cool. All right. Easy enough. With that, Cleave, what have you got for us? As you see Rumgar just sprint away, he had just been kind of a few steps behind you, not kind of going into the entryway of this abode, where you see he just kind of looks over, stiffens for a moment, and then in angry panic just sprints off, torch above his head.
Rumgar, you can hide and protect.
I want to run over towards him, just full, you know, probably full sprint. Will depend on how much we need. I'm gonna
Okay.
run over towards him, and
So this would
and
be
I'm
your full
gonna
30
throw
feet.
my bag of torches off towards the staircase that's above us.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, get up high and throw torches at him. We're gonna finish Butcher today.
Okay. Yeah, make a persuasion check for me. At disadvantage.
That's a good one.
Let's go.
Very sad. The good one was a natural 20, but the other one was a 15 to a total of 16, I believe.
Oh, not
Total
bad.
of 16. Wow, no, that's
Good
still
for a disadvantage. That's still
shockingly good.
Disadvantage.
Yeah, that's good.
Roll one more time for me.
What does it mean?
Another persuasion.
This is a 14.
14. Okay. All right. Easy enough. Next up we have Arlyn, followed by Rodrick.
All right. Well,
I'm not within 5 feet of the thing, right? I wanted
Not
to get, like, right
within
behind him or
5 feet of
something
him.
like
You
that.
are about 10 feet from the ogre, 5 feet from Rumgar.
Does he have like a really long thing in his hand that could probably still reach me from here?
Currently, at quick glance, you see that he doesn't have anything in his hands other than just like the fragments of wood that he's still kind
Okay.
of clutching for a second. But I'll allow it. I don't really care for the action of perceptifying. So go ahead and roll again for perception.
All right. Better yet, I can't tell all the stuff on the map, but am I standing near like a counter or anything I could just take cover behind?
There is a wall pretty close to you. Your movement is done in currently where you're at, so it would be a little bit tougher.
Like where I ended up couldn't have been behind the wall?
Not while being able to throw the torches towards the stairwell, no.
Okay. All right, that's fine. As long as I'm not like right up against the ogre doing nothing.
Cool.
But my perception was I believe that was hold on a second, I'll tell you. An 11.
11. Cool. Yeah, not hard to make out. This ogre doesn't have a ton about him. He has these pants that almost look like they're pelted from the waist down that seem to almost armor his lower half somewhat, and underneath it kind of like flaps into different layers. But above you can just see the flabby torso of this ogre and his arms swinging around still, where one of them has this long, just kind of shackled chain swinging about as he's swinging with whatever else he's doing. And you can see that both of his hands seem to have some sort of cuff attached at the wrist.
I'm so gonna want the feature that you can get the feet for using any weapons. I want to fight him with a chain so bad.
That'd be dope.
But anyway,
So
my turn's
yeah,
over.
you
I'm
guys
done.
are matching pretty well, as you are still, I would like to note, wrapped in massive chains all around your body that just kind of tied around in a few different layers. Arlyn, followed by Rodrick.
All right. So, Arlyn is going to see Calagon run behind him, and I am going to run directly across from him, going face to face with this ogre.
Okay.
And I'm going to pick up my sword. And my shield as well. So it's one-handed.
Cool.
And as I bring out my sword, I say, "We must protect our own family." And I'm going to slice at him.
Okay, go ahead and roll the hit.
10.
10. As you slice at him, you can see that this thing is just thrashing about, and as you go to make one good stab at him, he kind of swings instinctively as though he was still holding something, and instead of being able to kind of knock back with what he thought was a plank in his hands, he instead almost mistakenly kind of swings that chain your way and blocks your sword with this chain as it kind of spins around the tip and then falls off last second. You see that this creature just kind of looks down for a second at the chain and releases the splintered wood in its hands.
Huh.
Rodrick, what you got?
Splendid.
All right, I'm gonna run out over here, past everybody out this way,
Okay.
and look at him dead on. On my way there, I'm gonna look at Rumgar, and I'm gonna say, "Rumgar, now's when you protect." An inspiration,
Incredible.
Wow. Let's go.
and I'm gonna pull out my bow.
Low budget. Low budget, guys.
budget.
I would
Low
like
budget.
to
the
know,
merch store so we can get him a real bow.
you still have Jameson Kidd's bow that he lent you
Yeah.
for trekking through the ruins.
Was it pink and purple?
And so now I'm very curious about Jameson's style.
Jameson was kind
It's
of
kind of flashy.
flashy.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right,
Amazing.
here we go.
That's
And
so funny.
rolling to hit. 21.
21 most certainly hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right.
Nice.
I'm gonna look at him. I'm gonna actually aim towards his head,
Okay.
and then it's gonna flash, and then I'm gonna let it go.
Beautiful. All right.
Yeah,
and
it
you watch. How much damage is that dealing?
The damage on that is 8 9.
9 points of damage. Okay.
Let me get that club.
You watch
have
as
clubs?
he kind of like instinctively
But
puts
do you
his
have yours?
shoulder up,
Oh, yeah, I
seeing
traded
you
you
last
for the,
second in the distance as you
torches.
call out to little Rumgar there. You seem to catch his eye for a brief moment as running by you see, and it starts to kind of like fly towards his face. It aims a little low, and last second he seems to kind of like try to like just bolster his defense with his own body, and you watch as it dink, and it just kind of like sticks into his thick skin for a second, where you expected it to go clean through from this distance, and you watch as this thing is barely going into him. But he definitely does not look happy as he looks down, and you can see this trickle of like this deep, just like, I guess it'd be hard to make out in combat immediately as he puts one hand over it. Rumgar
Oh god.
immediately sees this, and of course is not going to let poor, weak, defenseless Rodrick take the beating for him. Rumgar's gonna run up on him like the strong, brave orc that he is, and Rumgar is going to... Wow. Start whacking at this ogre's feet.
Nice.
Where you see with that one big overhead charge, you see just...
Oh, he didn't go upstairs?
He just starts beating away at the toes of this large creature. And shockingly effective. You watch as the ogre actually starts to reel for a second and kind of does this small little kind of tippy-tappy dance as he just kind of angrily looks about, and you can see as his arm just pulls back for one more swing.
no.
There are a few of you guys who have swung on him now at this point. Let's see. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me do this a little bit differently. Okay. Then that would be... perfect. How interesting. Alright. He is going to bypass those of you who are below him and just kind of try his best to push past. You do immediately note, on the way past you all, as he kind of pushes past Arlyn, Rumgar is directly at his feet and possibly in threat of being trampled. Arlyn
Run,
specifically and Cleave, I will allow either of you to either make an attack of opportunity against the ogre or try to pull Rumgar out of the way in time.
Well, what about me? I'm behind him. Do I get an opportunity?
You will
attack?
also get an opportunity attack.
So one of you guys grab him and
So I say,
Undoubtedly, I'm grabbing him.
Cleave, grab Rumgar.
Get over here!
Okay.
as
And
he
I
run-
swing my sword.
as
Nice.
he moves away, I'm gonna try to firebolt from behind.
The opportunity attack will be specifically any melee attacks
okay.
on this one.
Well, I'm gonna swing at him with my staff, I
There you
guess.
go. Alright.
23.
23, nice.
10.
10, okay. And Cleave, go ahead and
Grabbing
roll a sleight of hand check.
Okay. It's not gonna be super awesome, but that's a 6.
A 6. Okay.
He takes 6 damage, by the way.
Fantastic. Alright. Rodrick, you see that as you fire off an arrow, this thing seems quite bothered and it starts kind of dancing about, but as it roars, you note that its gaze seems fixed on you in the back as it kind of looks past the small little orc and his little merry band here, and he starts trucking it at you. And as he swings his way towards you,
Now that I look at the map.
it's not necessarily his hand that seems the greatest threat, because as his hand comes your way, you notice that extending well beyond that, this chain seems to be coming up at you as though to hit you from behind. Does a... Let me double check here. Whew! 18 hit.
Yes.
Nice. Alrighty.
Was my staff a swing and a miss?
Yours was, and Arlyn, you said that was 6 points of damage, right?
Yep.
Fantastic. Alrighty.
Is the staff a miss?
So, you watch as Calagon just swings at him, but this creature seemed to be a lot faster than expected, having been lighter on his toes from just dancing around in the fire. He just pummels through and swinging his body about. Cleave, you reach out and, notably panicked, at the last moment you grab at your new friend and you watch as you pull him out of the way just barely at the last second, yet not quite enough, as you notice one of his legs just get stepped on at the side, and you watch as his leg buckles and he drops, and you hold his weight in your arms as you pull him out towards you, and you can feel his weight dropping now, not quite able to hold himself up.
You're fine.
Rodrick, that is going to be 5 points of bludgeoning damage as this creature just swings at you and, missing with his hand, seems to wrap you briefly in this chain, and it just kind of batters you from the side. Just kind of this deep throbbing pain immediately strikes in your arm and back as you just feel the sting of these chains against your skin.
He knows you're the most powerful. He's going after you.
Calagon, what you got?
For my staff?
So,
Or-
the staff was a miss, but it is now your turn,
okay,
so you are
gotcha.
free to give whatever you'd like sent his way.
I'm getting tired of missing, so I'm gonna go magic missile. I'm
Simple success
getting
there.
pretty upset. I see Rodrick's tied up, so I'm aiming straight for the head. Magic missile. Let's see, D4s. I'm gonna aim all 3 directly at his. Actually, I'm gonna aim 2 at his head, 1 at his arm that's holding the chain.
Nice.
That's 9 points of damage total through these.
9 points of damage?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. My goodness, not bad. Okay. You watch as this thing just roars and runs its way, looking to pummel everything in its path, stepping on Rumgar as though he were nothing, just kind of treks over, and with one big swing, you see as off just from the side, almost behind the figure of this ogre, you can see that this chain starts to wrap, and then you hear the grunt of Rodrick along with the clashing of chain against him. And as you do, you just and you let out these 3 bolts that immediately just, and Rodrick, you can see as this creature just hurled over in pain now, just looks back now and just starts slamming his body every which way in this just torrent of flailing limbs.
I'm gonna yell, Cleave! Get Rumgar out of here.
That's your turn.
That's it. That's all.
All right,
That's
Cleave,
my
what you
turn.
got?
I just spend my action just snatch that kid up, pick him up, and then just start running and screaming and like not screaming, chanting like you're fine. And as I run up the staircase here, or in the back behind where we just were, I'm gonna carry him up there, and if I can, with just my club out stretched as I'm hugging him between my shield and my club, I want to just try to like scoop up my backpack there too, just bring it all up part way up the stairs as far as I can get. I want to say it was probably about, is that far? Look right on the map. Halfway up the stairs, maybe.
Let me see here. Let me
Start
double
out
check from here.
I can't do it.
That would be about 25 feet of movement currently where you're at.
All right, I'll keep going. Get him all the way up here.
There you go. So
and
you can
then
just kind of place him at the top.
You're fine. And as I put him down, you're fine. And I cup my hands around his face and I say, "You're fine." And I bonus action cast Healing Word.
Ah, okay. How much does that do?
1 plus 2. 5. 5 points of damage. I heal him.
Wow. He kind of looks around. You can see that he had been
holding his torch high in the air as though to avoid hitting you with it as he just kind of bounces up the stairs. And as you drop him on his leg, he kind of in fear just drops his leg down.
He's back.
Rumgar. No. I need more berries.
Of course he does.
When Cleave says you're fine, you're fine. Orc strong.
Or strong.
Arlyn, followed by Rodrick.
Yes. I am going to run behind the ogre. Which, by the way, do we have flank rules?
Yeah, for sure.
Which I totally forgot to instill those in my last move, but that's all right. Flank rules is advantage, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to flank with Rodrick and get a nat 20.
Let's go.
All right. Not bad, my guy.
That's what we need to finally do.
All right.
right.
So let's explain to the viewers what is the rule of a nat 20 in combat.
Yes. Nat 20s are a nice little thing that we call a critical success, which
Yes.
doubles the primary portion of your damage, essentially. So go ahead and roll your damage for us.
Perfect. So I am going to roll 2d8 instead of 1d8,
There you go.
and then add my modifier.
This is why you're our leader, Arlyn.
Trying. 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. All right.
Let's go.
No, wait. My bad. I counted that wrong. 11 points of damage.
Let's go.
Even
There we go.
better.
That's a new record. Right?
Wow, that's amazing.
That's
Oh,
the
level
biggest
one.
hit so
I was
far.
gonna say, yeah,
Wow,
that's
11
amazing.
points.
I literally can't hit harder than 9. Every time actually,
Level
the last 2
on,
times I've shot an
boys.
arrow, I've maxed out my hit ability.
15
I think
is my
5
highest.
is my max.
Really?
5.
15 is my highest. Magic missile, all 4s, plus the modifiers.
We're gonna have
Yeah.
to keep track of records.
Yeah.
And then we'll keep
that's big.
increasing from there.
All right, cool. All right, you watch as coming up from behind, Arlyn starts just chopping away at the legs of this creature, and you see that this thing, terrifying, standing over you, Rodrick. You watch as it gets shot in the head by something, grabbing at its head. It looks back and then it looks down on at you, and as it opens its mouth to let out one more roar, you watch as its eyes widen and it drops to its knees for a second, now like face to face with you. More shocked than anything as it starts to turn, and you can see now over its shoulder Arlyn just standing there with blade up in the air for one last slice as you see this thing's legs being taken out, as you see its arm stretching back behind it. What do you do?
I'm like with a face of terror right now as like those giant, disgusting, like warty looking eyes just like meet me at my gaze.
Oh man.
And out of pure reaction, I'm just gonna grab my dagger and try to stick it into his head.
Sheesh. Go for it. Go ahead and roll at advantage.
Thank God for advantage. 21.
21.
Nice.
Yeah, that most certainly hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Alrighty. 5.
5 points of damage. All right. You guys are chipping away at this big fella, but it is definitely not out for the count just yet. You see, as now on its knees, it seems panicked, clearly knowing that it's surrounded and just being taken down one strike at a time, and it turns to you last second and instinctively pulls away as you now just gash at it, and you reach for its eye as yellow as its teeth as it's roaring at you, and you just kind of take one blow, striking down at its face, and just barely missing its eye. It just kind of scratches down, leaving this massive mark. And you can see that instinctively he kind of reaches his hand up and has to block the chains from himself as the one hand brings up the chains rapidly to almost strike himself by mistake.
Am I wrapped up in the chains still?
You are not. You're not.
Okay,
No.
Awesome.
However, he's very, very unhappy. And with his lack of movement,
happy.
he doesn't seem confident in his ability to turn to fight Arlyn currently.
Oh no!
Really? I tried with that big hit.
Dude.
That was cocked. It was really good, but it was cocked. I'll leave it be.
I hope you're regretting re-rolling that. For my sake.
For your sake, yeah, I think.
You watch as he just, again, flailing about, seems to just kind of rapidly just swing an arm, but now covering half of his face doesn't seem to be looking where he's swinging entirely. As with his eye covered, he just kind of instinctively now closes the other eye and just thrashes. And looking at you, there's this moment of panic. So you can see he starts to shake and starts trying to get his way back onto his feet now, and slowly kind of backing his way away from being directly in between the two of you guys. Rumgar, however, up top is with Cleave. And Rumgar looks to you and says,
Orcs must fight. You are only little bit orc. You fight little bit.
and he pats you on the shoulder, and he starts to walk past you and down the stairs.
Can I talk?
Yeah, for sure.
We fight. We fight smart. We fight good. We fight so that we win. We go up. We have fire.
He seems singularly focused. As this clearly, naturally just ingrained in him. He's just set his heart to do combat at this time for whatever reason. And his resolve is like no other child you've ever seen. Where he just now pulls his head up from eyes locking the ground instead up to what you can see in his eyes as he passes by is now his prey.
His what?
His prey.
No.
Calagon followed by Cleave.
Okay. There's nothing else I can do. I'm going to run closer, get a good vantage point, intentionally running in front of Rumgar. And I'll raise my staff and shoot a firebolt straight at his noggin.
Nice.
Big ol' ogre noggin.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna use this one. The other ones haven't been nice to me. 21 to hit.
21, yes.
Sweet.
Most
Whoa.
certainly
Sweet,
yet again.
sweet. All right. Four
4 points of fire
points of
damage.
damage.
Nice. Alright. Now, you all are mid-combat, but Cleave, standing from the back now, you can see fully appreciating Calagon for what he is. You see as he raises his staff up, and for a moment, you notice what looks like ash start to fill from the inner parts of this staff that he's holding, and you watch as this blackened smoke starts to erupt from the bottom and build its way up the staff, and it instead starts to redden. And you almost see that his staff looks to be on fire for a brief moment as the embers start crackling at his hand. And putting his hand out, you watch as this just large fireball just appears as though just supernaturally from the end of his staff and shoots into this ogre's back. And you can see that this thing is now shaky. And you see this large black char mark on the back of this large creature.
I'm gonna say, why don't you try hitting somebody your own size?
Cleave.
I look at I look at Calagon. I go, "You're not that big."
Calagon, you are so cool. Club.
Yes.
I just charge. Right
Let's
up
go.
down.
Somebody needs to give me a torch so I can be here
Yeah,
with
you
you
can be a
guys.
Rumgar with the torch.
I need something throwable.
Okay. Let's see. You are currently about 45 feet from the ogre.
All right. In that case, I want to get 30 feet, so 10 feet away from it, 30 feet closer.
Okay.
And then I would like to. I'd like to just hold a healing word for anybody else that if somebody gets like brutalized, that I can just like instantly, they don't get brutalized.
Well, very cool. Okay. Yeah, done deal. Arlyn with Rodrick on deck.
All right. So once again, I am going to flank with Rodrick
Nice.
and try to get his attention by swinging my sword.
Cool. Okay.
Here we go. It's 17.
17. You watch as, bringing it down again, he starts slashing away at the thick skin of this ogre. Go ahead and roll for damage.
All right. My damage is 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage. Not bad, not bad. All right. One by one, just slowly brutalizing this massive creature. You guys just proceed to take turns, just hacking away at it in different ways. This massive singe mark seemingly just outlining the array of wounds now on the back of this creature. Rodrick, you're up, followed by, of course, your boy Rumgar.
What's the distance of disadvantage with a short bow?
Basically, as long as you're within 5 feet, it's going to be problematic.
It's going to be problematic. But if I were to back up 5 feet, he would take an opportunity attack on me.
That is correct.
I'm going to cancel out my advantage that I have to pull out my short bow
Okay.
and point it into his eye
Wow.
at point blank range.
Alrighty.
Come on.
Same eye or different eye?
He's flanking with me. Does that give him advantage?
Well, I'm
Not
canceling
because
it out
he's
because
within
it's my
5
short
feet.
bow.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Going same eye.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Let's really try to blind him. I'll go the other eye.
Okay.
Ten.
10. As you pull back and aim to execute this creature, it looks at you last second and seems to pause. And as you pull back your bow, right as you release, and it stands up again for the first time properly and seems to almost go for a shoulder charge at you. As you see Rumgar sprint over from the corner
Oh no. No, Rumgar, no.
and start beating away at the back of this creature right as it gets up to charge you, and seemingly missing as Rumgar just now,
No.
with one final
Remember, Rumgar has
hit,
inspiration.
he just kind of smacks down at the ground. That one.
No.
Does an 11 hit you, Rodrick?
It does not.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you, God.
In what may very well be this bloodied, crisp ogre's last attempt at survival, he tries one more time to take down the great Rodrick Elwood as he gives one final swipe up from the ground with his rise into what almost appears to be a shoulder charge, and kind of just lowering his body now into you. You watch as he instead drags his body across the ground, just kind of barely missing, not quite able to get both legs all the way up, and kind of faltering as one of them seems to fall out from underneath him. Calagon. What you got, bud?
I'm gonna run in front of Rumgar again and get as close as I can, eye level, right in front of this face, this ugly ogre face, and I am going to again cast Firebolt.
Firebolt. I will warn you. So if you are within 5 feet of it, it'll be at disadvantage. You can be a little bit further back, and it'll be regular. It is cool and epic.
Okay, there's a little table right there.
I'll tell you what.
I'm gonna jump on top of the table.
Here's what we can do.
Okay.
Alternatively, you can also flank with Rodrick officially, and I will say it will neutralize still in that regard.
Even.
We'll
Okay.
just go flat roll.
All right, straight to his face.
So
Come on.
there you go. I'm going to the back of him. Uh-oh.
Go on.
Uh-oh.
7.
7.
What is with these flat rolls, dude?
This is
we
brutal.
need the advantage.
This is brutal. Okay.
And I go up all confident and
Cleave, you watch as Rumgar, having now just almost shrugged you off with a sense of purpose. You can see the mission in his eyes as he goes over to join the fray with the rest of the men. And beating around at this ogre, you watch as Calagon kind of pushes between and fires off one more blast, but trying his best to kind of separate Rumgar from this ogre, seems to kind of misfire just off to the side a little bit as this ogre falls to the ground just under his firebolt. What are you gonna do?
We need a better advantage. Now, the room that we walked through, like that hall, in order to get to this part of the courtyard, had a bunch of open containers of colored spices, right?
Correct.
Do any of the tables right next to the ogre have that?
Next to the ogre?
Yeah. It's right here near us?
Nothing immediately that you can see, not out here.
All right, in that case, I'm just going to drop my club right where I am. Just drop it at my feet and bolt into this building and pull out my pouch of chicken bones, or whatever they are, bones. And
Okay.
fling it out and then pull up some of that green powder into it instead. Then I'll just run right back out, and whoever's the closest, I would like to throw it to Rodrick. I don't know if I'll be able to get that far to be able to, but I want to throw somebody the pouch of powder. Say, blind him!
Okay. Who did you say you're gonna throw it to, Rodrick?
I want to get, but he's on the opposite side of the ogre. I don't know if I'll be able to see him. So maybe Arlyn. I'll say Arlyn.
All right.
Arlyn, blind him! We need an advantage!
Alright, yeah. You toss it over, and it is mid-combat. I will say DC 5, but go ahead and just make a general dexterity check for me real quick.
Okay. 17.
Yeah, that'll
Good.
do.
That's
That,
good.
that definitely meets
That's
the 5 DC. So yeah, without fail, he just kind of tosses it out there, and you're mid slashing at this thing, and you like instinctively look back, listening to your ally, and reach out a hand, catch it with one hand as you kind of pull back and are able to kind of almost instinctively drop your sword for an instant to catch it, and then pull back as it's kind of losing balance on the ground. You grab your sword back, kind of fumbling around with sword and shield as you have to kind of trade off between hands. But it is your turn now.
All right.
Nice.
So, I'm going to run around. Can I run around him to get to where Rodrick is, or is that a
you
wall?
can try to
the other
go
way?
between Calagon and Rumgar, but it will be difficult. There's like that's walled off on the right side, so he's kind of pressed against the wall now at this point. But you can go around Rumgar over on this side and go through the entrance of the other building.
We'll take an opportunity attack. Can I push between Calagon and the ogre?
Yeah,
Generally speaking, it shouldn't be too bad as long as Calagon's for it.
Yeah. So I say, I'm gonna get around.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
You're not gonna
Takes
let
up an
me?
additional
He's
5 feet
okay,
of
he's
movement,
okay.
so it does
Okay.
slow you a little bit as you kind of push around, but the ogre isn't having the best time maneuvering currently.
Okay, so I get around to where I can see his eyes, and I am going to, I'm guessing, use my action to try to blind him with the, what was it, dust or something?
Yeah, it's some kind of spice.
Oh, it's like a
that's
spice.
in this pouch.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna open it, and I'm gonna
Cover
throw
your
it.
eyes.
Pepper spray.
Yeah,
Cool.
pepper spray.
You watch
spray
as,
pepper at
as
him.
out of nowhere Arlyn appears from behind this creature who's now standing back to his feet, and he kind of goes to throw it and finds himself strangely close as he kind of grabs at the bag last minute. You watch as instead the powder all just kind of flies out and directly into the eyes of this creature. And just flailing about with now this pale, like almost whitish yellow skin now going completely green. His eyes completely filled with this powder, and he starts just trying to claw his way out of his eyes.
So I say,
Rodrick.
now finish him, Rodrick.
Okay. I'm gonna pull out my bow again.
Since he can't see, you can step back, right? And it won't be
Well, it doesn't matter because if I step back, then I don't have flank, and then if I do it there, I have flank and it offsets, so it's still the
okay,
same.
so it doesn't matter. Okay,
thing.
gotcha.
It's always gonna be a straight roll for me. Come on. This is 24 hit.
Let's
24 definitely hits.
Hey, buddy.
Let's see that damage.
Go. 4.
4 points of damage.
It's alright, it's alright. You hit him.
Okay. This thing
That's close to my maximum still, so that's.
is
I'm proud.
suffering. As you can see, the eyes, ears, and everything else about seem to be just completely covered in this green powder. And
That's the
you
last hit
see
I'll
that
get.
this creature, just angry as can be, seems with one hand to pull the powder off of one bloodied eye as it looks up at you finally and taking an arrow to the head falls into your chest.
It falls into his
Into
chest.
his chest.
What?
As you watch its head just into the ground.
Wait, I killed it?
You killed it.
It is dead.
Do I take damage from it falling into
You
me?
do not, luckily.
Wow.
Our family's
Fascinating.
strong!
Did it.
We did do it. What is it though?
Well, Cleave, do you know?
Do I know?
This thing off of me!
Yeah, make just a general nature check, actually.
I'm like
I'll
kind
say
of
for you
struggling
specifically, it's not
to
too bad.
Phenomenal.
Yeah,
push myself
okay.
It's gonna be at least 20.
from under him.
Yeah,
My sheet's not loading.
based on what you've heard from general orc history, you know that this is an ogre, and that it does seem to be typically around where orcs are. Sometimes working with them, sometimes against them, but it kind of varies tribe by tribe depending on how, we'll say, uncivilized the tribe is. This ogre in particular is a little, how do I put this, less civilized than what you've seen, or like rather heard of still, despite the clear low intelligence of ogres. But what's more than that is it clearly seems to be especially aggressive towards anything and everything, where you know that sometimes the orcs will actually kind of temper their anger towards them and keep them as servants of different sorts. And so this one clearly didn't feel that way towards either you or Rumgar.
Well, these people, the orcs, would usually very often they'd keep one of these around. They'd probably know him as a butcher, but for our society, you'd probably know it as an ogre.
A butcher. This.
Are you still under it?
It's some sort of butcher. Oh, as I'm lifting it off you.
Oh, okay.
As I'm lifting it off you.
Like,
Yeah.
a butcher.
They call it a butcher.
A butcher? From under.
But they. I mean, look at him. He's in broken chains. I don't think it was ready to be of any use to them. This thing's still wild.
Hey, quick question.
Was.
We need answers. I think you have them.
Rumgar, have you
What?
seen this before?
No.
What,
Was that what you gonna ask?
Wait, give me a second. What made you bring Rumgar in?
I just asked him. He said he was hiding. I asked him where. I didn't know it was gonna be in here.
Hiding where?
He said
Here.
he was hiding in that room in the
Did
corner.
you get
there.
more information from him about this place?
A bit, only with him being able to point and for me to understand better.
Why do you keep calling it a butcher?
He called it a butcher.
But he said he's never seen this before.
This
No.
isn't butcher.
Not butcher.
What's? Do you know this? Have you seen this?
I not seen this. No.
Do
But you
things
were
like
hiding
this?
from something else. From butcher.
Butcher different.
Is butcher big like this? Not this big?
I think
Oh, you never
No.
saw butcher, right?
butcher
Because butcher
sound-
speaks.
Yes.
Yes.
Is butcher human?
I don't know.
Quick question. Clearly this isn't Butcher. So who is?
Is it the gentleman in
very-
the crate back there?
In the crate.
You know, the human in the
But
crate?
what more do you know about Butcher? Clearly he said something about a butcher. What did he say about that butcher?
I think it's time you told us everything you've heard.
didn't
Rumgar is
understand.
poking the ogre in the pelt with his torch, and you can see that slowly but surely the pelt is starting to catch fire.
That's probably good.
Rumgar, stop. Stop for a second.
Oh.
He's dead.
Oh.
What has he told you, Cleave?
As far as I know, he was hiding in that room over there. As he was told. As there was some manner of attack from someone he calls Butcher. Someone he heard. He didn't remember what he said, but he did speak. And after all was said and done, he exited. He darted out from that window. Is that right?
Rumgar starts to walk closer to that door, and he points at the doorway that is clearly made for, like, humanoids. He says,
Butcher small.
Very small or just like me, my size. Okay.
Butcher was.
He went through the door.
Mm-hmm.
He could fit in the door.
Well, Butcher definitely was the one collecting the tusks.
Was he the one collecting human bodies
Collecting
in the
tusks.
crates that we just saw? By the way, there's
Very
human bodies in the
possible.
crates back there.
Well, there's
Actually,
orc
it's-
bodies that are missing all their tusks.
Okay.
But they're not injured otherwise.
The body I'm aware of, but the tusks.
Oh yes, the 3 corpses out there in the courtyard. Their tusks were ripped out of their mouths.
And is that what this butcher does?
I don't know.
Rumgar?
Rumgar seems singularly focused on Calagon for a moment.
The weak don't get beds.
We don't
Get beds?
Do they keep their teeth? Do they lose their I point at mine. Do they lose them when they're weak? No.
No. Just their beds.
They just lose their beds.
Okay, so I
Who
Go
had
ahead.
beds?
There was some people I saw through
That
the
lost
window
them.
in his hiding place that they have beds. Did you know that they had
People.
beds?
People had beds and they lost them.
Orcs?
People had beds.
You guys killed the people. You guys put the people in the crates.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so that was my assumption.
Back-
This was
Back to my
Did they
original
come
point.
and attack you? Were they coming to harm you and you killed them, or just?
No, humans weak. Orcs.
yes, they came.
Strong.
They took over this place that was ran by humans.
I mean, you say that so nonchalantly, Arlyn.
I mean, orcs are orcs.
That's offensive.
He's not fully orc.
What is crate?
He's civilized.
And he points down at the ogre.
Do we have crate?
You want to put this in a crate, in a big box?
So
Where
they
do-
hoard everything, huh?
I think burning was actually fine, but maybe not yet. Just make
There
sure we don't
are-
burn the place.
Creatures. Creatures come out at night.
Oh, lovely.
And
Creatures are not fun.
Oh,
Creatures are scary.
we haven't even checked the other corners of this place.
I
I'm
want to get
sure
out
there
of
are
here.
more.
But if we leave here, we're surrounded by sand that might have spiders under it.
And night. Have you seen the sky?
The best thing to do is stay behind these walls. The creatures come out, the walls can protect us.
Do the creatures come inside the walls?
I don't know.
Well, if we lock ourselves inside of a room, and I think we would be safe. At least for the most part.
Great.
We'll
The
have to
four
find
horsemen.
Or we fight.
We're the 4 horsemen, and we're gonna lock ourselves inside of the room.
4 horsemen. I don't believe we've ever called ourselves that, actually.
Oh, I just
It's not
assumed
That's not what.
the thing in the temple had. We had
I
horses.
like the ring
It
with
looked like
that.
us. I thought.
Did
There
you
were
come up with
images
that
of us.
yourself?
No, I thought we.
All
meant-
this time you've been hoarding such an amazing name.
I thought we mentioned it.
You could have told me. I
It
would've
certainly
thought-
was the images on the walls, though. It's good.
Yes, yes, that is
Images on the
good.
walls.
I mean,
We fought with
Well,
horses, yeah.
it was a.
You all
There's
hear a
something
thump as Rumgar
Oh.
walks into a room. And then, as you all look over to see the thump, you see him just slowly dragging the body of an orc
Oh.
out of the room.
Where
and
he was
just
hiding.
kind of pulls it out into the main space and plops the dead orc out beside the door.
Wait, not from the hiding place that he was in?
No, not from the hiding
From
place.
another room.
Wow. Was that on a bed? Was he on a bed?
But he was weak. Now we get beds.
I mean, he has a point. The bed is no use to him anymore.
And
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the first time, Rumgar looks at each of you, and you can see that he points off in the end, and he says,
Rodrick and Arlyn.
Yes.
and then he points a little bit closer to him. Cal.
Dragon and dragon.
And then he points over to
I think he
what
means
you guys
and
can see
Barry.
is a bed
Dragon
behind
and
him.
Calagon are the same hard.
And he
Word.
goes and
Whatever.
he grabs
He's just
Cleave
familiar
by
with the word.
by the sleeve, and he says,
This our bed.
We all get beds. We're all strong.
"We are strong."
What time of day is it? Is it?
Very good.
It's like a little past, like the sun is still very high in the sky.
Wow.
But
It's been a long day.
yeah, for sure, been a long day. But talking about all the creatures and the beds, Rumgar seems to have made room for you all. Where you guys now get the sense that he made room by clearing out one of his now dead orc friends from one of the beds because he died. And he therefore was not strong enough to deserve it.
But we are now strong.
Did he?
In
Did
his eyes.
did someone put him in the bed after he died, or did he die like that?
That's a great question.
I put him in bed.
You put him in the bed.
Ah,
He
I got a
was
bad feeling about all this.
strong.
Man, the
Well-
sun is high.
I say we
It
try
takes.
to explore until the end of the night.
And then we have this place. Yeah.
Then we rest here.
We could explore, but we need to take some time to barricade these rooms. Just as easily as Rumgar can get in. Imagine what that could do. And I point to the ogre.
He has a point.
I'm scared of much worse than that. Spiders can get in a lot of places and crawl over walls and bury themselves under sand.
I see somebody
As
does
you're
not
talking,
like.
you
Just
see that
misunderstood.
Rumgar has walked his way over and is now literally climbing on the dead body of the ogre as he just kind of like army crawls on top of him for added stability, and he starts shaking at your sleeve now from on top, and he starts to stand up.
It's okay.
And he goes and he pushes at you and he says,
You did not fall. You are not weak. You are strong. We will be fine. We are 4 horsemen.
and that's where we're gonna end tonight.
Oh my gosh.
So who's
Rumgar can't count.
Who's gonna kick out? The 4 horsemen.
Oh man, sorry,
First
Cleave.
official reveal. Yeah, horseman. He's like, yeah, we are. Oh man.
The 5th horseman is gonna get kicked out.
I'm getting weird vibes from Rumgar. He's a killer and he's sweet
He
at the same
is
time.
an orc, guys.
But still, man.
That is nature.
Yeah, but our
Cleave would understand. It's
yeah, but-
nature.
Yeah, but our run-ins with an orc, our Cleave, he's completely different. Also,
He's the most docile.
I
Can we
suppose
get-
you guys wouldn't know.
can we get
No
a
idea.
behind the scenes of how your parents didn't kill each other? Because apparently that's what happens.
Well, I guess it was all half orcs, right? Where you're
Yeah,
from. So it's
they're
not like
all
a
from-
full, like, I guess,
But somewhere
yeah,
down the line,
Rumgar's full
somebody
orc.
survived a crazy.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a weird
Literally. Just,
lineage that we will get to look at a little bit more as the weeks progress. But for now, we will leave it at that. We love you guys. Thank you so much for joining along with us. As always, God bless, and see you next week.
bye-bye.
Later.
Hey guys, before you go, my name is Nick. I play Calagon Dör in our campaign, The 4 Horsemen, on our show Divine Inspiration. I have another scripture here for you this week, something to encourage you whenever you get into hard times or feel like the weight of the world is just too much to bear. It's Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 and 7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Whenever I get into a situation in life where I feel anxiety start to creep in, when I feel overwhelmed, I always seek His presence through worship music and prayer, or I go to the Word. And in the Bible it says, He takes what the enemy made for evil and He turns it for good. A pastor once told me that anxiety and faith cannot coexist. So I encourage you guys this week coming up, if you get into any hardships or any times that maybe you need a little help, to seek His Word, to seek His presence, and just watch life change happen. I promise it will. But thanks for sticking with us this whole time. We'll see you next week on Divine Inspiration.